Hi, it's June 12th, 2025 at 9:45 a.m. Japan time. The Nikkei is currently around 38156 yen. Yesterday it was hovering around 38800, but we are seeing a decent pullback today. The US-China negotiations went well, and the CPI came in soft, showing signs of easing inflation that gave the market a strong push upward. But now it feels like the market is taking a breather, possibly seeing some profit taking. And stocks in both Japan and the US have been strong lately, but now things are slowing down. And with tomorrow being the June SQ Japan, it feels like we are in a range of bond phase, with many players winding their positions rather than building new ones. And even though there was a short squeeze recently, a lot of long positions were also stuck around the 38000 level. So it looks like both sides are shorts getting squeezed, but long taking a profit. And canceling each other out there, I think the market is trying to reset and clear out positions. Before moving in a clear direction, this might make June feels a bit underwhelming, but heading into July and August, I think it's worth watching the total unrealized loss on different positions across the board. And that could guide where the next big moves happen. We are about 380,100 now, which seems fair for the moment. May's SQ was around 37500, so we are still holding above the level. I think the June SQ will probably settle a bit higher than that. Also, inflation data is softening, and now the key question is will the FED actually cut rates? And people like Trump and Vance have been calling it a negative not to cut here. So political pressure is building. I've been reading Powell's recent speech and affirmation statements carefully, and honestly, I think Powell wants to cut rates badly. Inflation is slowing, some of the recent economic indicators are soft, so technically rate cuts are becoming more justifiable. But I think there's one thing holding him back: electricity consumption. As I've said many times, electricity usage is picking up, and Powell knows that strong energy demand means the real economy is still solid. Even if employment numbers are weak, the underlying growth might be strong, and he knows it. But most of the market is not watching power consumption. They are still focused on inflation and jobs, and Powell probably wants to keep it that way. Because if the market realizes we are in a phase where money supply is shifting to follow electricity demand, especially driven by AI, then a rate cut could ignite a major bubble. So instead, I think Powell is playing it carefully. He's trying to talk mainly about jobs and inflation while gently preparing the market for cut without overheating things. Eventually, I believe the FED will cut rates in a way that allows many supply to match energy demand. But there's a will do it with subtle communication, step by step, avoiding too much excitement in the markets. I used to think rate cuts were unlikely, but now looking at the power demand and the money supply together, I think the FED will cut slowly as a way to quietly stimulate growth in S1C with the real economy. Once US-China tensions ease and the FED starts cutting, the AI-led growth ignite engine can really take off. That could shift us into a fundamentally strong phase for the economy. So for now, it's all about patience, and by the time all of this becomes more obvious. Market positions will probably be cleaned up, and that could trigger a shape move higher. That's why it's important that Japanese companies don't stay too conservative. Right now, earnings forecast are around 2450 yen per share. If that gets revised upward with confidence, it could give the market more reasons to rally. That's all for today. If you found this helpful, feel free to follow me and think of it like going long on my contents. See you tomorrow.